What's going on, Fortnite fans? My name is ManArmsGaming, and in this video, I will be playing 20 games of Fortnite Scrims. All of these matches were played on the Discord Scrim server Kangarna East Scrims, an NA East-based organization that hosts Fortnite custom matches regularly. This is also the first video in a 6-video series cataloging my journey through 100 games of these Fortnite Scrims. So hit the like button if you want to see more videos on this topic. But before this intro gets too long, let's just hop into the video. I played 20 games of Fortnite Scrims, and this is what happened. The first question that may be on some of your minds is, what is a Fortnite Scrim match? A Fortnite Scrim match is an exclusive game of Fortnite where the only way to get in is to input a code into one of the game modes in Fortnite. When the host of the match starts the game, everyone who inputted the code will be placed in the same match, except the losers who didn't input the code fast enough. Usually scrims have a specific set of rules that every player in the scrim is meant to follow, and the combination of these rules and the skill level of participants usually leaves you with 40 to 50 people by the time endgame rolls around. These matches were also held in the arena playlist, meaning players with 7,000 arena points could compete against players with 1 to 2,000, like me. These games were definitely hard fought, but there were times where I was just completely outmatched. And by game 1, I had realized that most players I'd be participating with would be much better than I am. And judging by how effortlessly this guy killed me, there's still some room for my improvement. Wait, did I mention that this video was inspired by the amazing content creator Luke the Notable, who makes videos such as 100 Days in Hardcore Minecraft or Tilted Towers 100 Drops? I don't think I did. Most of Game 2 was actually pretty uneventful. I landed at Retail Row and no one was around to contest me. Most of the rules for these solo scrims follow a pretty usual pattern in which there's no killing before 4th zone, but if someone lands at your spot then you can kill them, but like I said, no one landed retail, so I had it all to myself. And around mid-game is when people really start to chill out. They're mainly focused on getting to the next circle, so they're probably not going to try to grief you. But speaking of griefers, I was actually griefed a lot while recording this video, which is one of the main reasons it took me so long just to record 20 games, and why I'm splitting this up into 5 videos of 20. Because usually, when you're going to the 4th zone, that's when people who are already boxed up think it's just a good idea to spray you before the fighting is even supposed to start. I don't know why they do this, but they do. It's a problem, and it really hampered my ability to record games in bulk. Game 3, I had a perfect drop onto the big building in Craggy Cliffs, but there was another guy contesting me for it, so I ended up going to one of the smaller buildings on the side. It was probably a good idea that I avoided that guy. He probably would have killed me. By the way, there's a good chance you've noticed that some of these games were played during Season 6. I'm not really going to talk about the season in which these games are taking place because there's a good chance there might be like 3 to 4 seasons featured throughout all 100 games. This round I was on the hunt for frogs to try to get a primal stink bow, and I got it, although this guy shot at me a bit. I don't know why, but whatever. Keeping the events of Game 2 in mind, I decided to base up early in Game 3. Although the base was pretty close to the outside of the circle, it was still a safe base nonetheless. Yep, Game 3 was the first game where I actually made it to 4th zone. Let's see how this goes. I shot at some people with my epic rarity stink bow, and in the confusion of everyone trying to get to the next safe circle, I ended up getting a kill, but pretty soon after, I was killed. It was actually very laggy when I was playing this due to all the builds and due to me recording this, but you can see here a pretty good look of how I died. Now I know the other games actually took a while, but Game 4 was pretty simple. I dropped too late for Dirty Docks, didn't get a gun, landed on someone who had one, and died. It's very important to get materials early on in these games, because when endgame rolls around, there are going to be no materials left for you to gather, so the only way you're going to be able to get mats and loot is by killing. And remember, players here are pretty good, so unless you're also very good, you probably don't want to go for kills. So you want to get good loot and good mats early by going for supply drops and spaces with many materials. By using those guns and materials and my base, I was able to extend my life for much longer than I would have if I had arrived late. I even ended up wandering into a box fight and getting a pretty lucky kill. But later on I died to Storm. I used too many materials tunneling when I should have just ran, and I also didn't do the tunnels well, and I got stuck in some other people's builds, so I died. Game 6, a bunch of people left due to issues with the code, but somehow I still managed to almost die. Luckily for me, I got away. The guy who almost pickaxed me showed up later when I was at the Red Steel Bridge, and since there weren't that many players in this game, it actually gave me a good opportunity to 1v1 him to see how good the players here were. And, I got obliterated. Let's just say that. Game 7, I landed at Dirty Docks, and I had some pretty good loot for so early in the game, so I decided to contest this other player. What I didn't realize would be so important is that I had barely any mats, and this guy could also shoot at me better than I was shooting at him, so I died. And Game 8 was the second time I died off spawn without a gun, but somehow I managed to place better in this game than in Game 7. Game 9, while leaving the gas station, I was attacked. I should have hopped in the Lambo, but instead I opted to eat some peppers and run away. Yeah, that didn't work. Game 10 was shaping up to be a great endgame. I had good loot, good heals, max mats. Yeah, this game was definitely going to have some interesting moments in it, if I wasn't brief. Game 11, while in Sweaty Sands, I ran into another player, and we seemed to forge a momentary peace. However, to Sweats, the term peace is meaningless. You see, this is why I always keep a gun in my house. You never know when a prehistoric dinosaur is going to come barging through your door to try to eat you. Final circle ending in Craggy Cliffs, and it was getting pretty crazy, but I made it to safety. At least what I thought was safety, until this guy shot through my box and killed me while I wasn't looking. Ooh, a boat just lying around. Don't mind if I use that to get to safety. Okay, never mind. This thing is going to get me killed. That same game, I caught the largest hot flopper out of anyone in my friends list, so I accomplished that. I think it's a good rule, when the storm gets to about 3 and 4, just stop using cars and travel on foot, because you're gonna get shot. Game 14, I landed at Stealthy Stronghold for a very simple reason. Nobody's landed here since the Predator skin came out. I also made sure to get to the 4th circle early, because I don't feel like getting grief today. I think I played pretty well in this endgame, but I also used way too many materials. Like here, instead of boxing up, I probably should have just tried to build over this guy, but I let him get to the new circle first, and I just created more danger for myself. I should have just kept building. I had 250 wood, and I probably would have been okay if I had just done some stairs and some floors, but I tried to go on the ground level, ran into a bunch of players who were better than I was, and I died. Game 15, I figured I'd just mess around a little bit, you know? The whole plan for this game was I was just gonna land on top of the spire and just emote as a default to see what would happen. To be honest, I knew that no one was gonna find me until mid-game, but what I was mostly interested in was whether or not they would kill me. And you know what? The guy who actually found me in the end didn't kill me immediately. Instead, he decided to dance with me. I uploaded this as a whole video on my Shorts channel because I just found it amazing. So yeah, go subscribe to that. You know, only in Fortnite will you ever have the possibility of seeing a rainbow-colored Groot wearing angel wings on his back, sweeping up the floor. Dropped Catty Corner Game 16 and I was loaded. I had good guns, I had good healing items, I had a decent amount of mats. So, what happens if I'm having a good game in this series? I get griefed. Game 17 was actually played with pranking because I got him into the server as well, and I figured we'd just play a game together. We spent our mid-game wisely, gathering many different kinds of materials and weapons to use later. 4th zone was closing in, and as Pranking was spending his time lollygagging about, I was busy at work constructing a wooden base. And then someone burned it down. With a dangerous storm incoming, I had to drive us to safety, but I had little mats after our base was burned down, and I couldn't use a lot tunneling. That's when the Storm Surge kicked in. Now, if you haven't heard about it, Storm Surge is a feature in Fortnite where if there are too many people alive by a specific zone, the storm will start to damage people who haven't done enough damage to other players. So this basically encourages aggression and decreases the amount of players in the lobby. And as you can see, right as Storm Surge was activated, I got attacked. Luckily for us, I was able to do enough damage to this player, so we were above Storm Surge, and we were safe for the time being, assuming we didn't die in this fight. Which we didn't. However, I had basically used all my mats in that fight, and the storm was pretty bad for us, so we were at a major disadvantage. And when Pranking got to the new safe circle, we didn't really have any materials left. We were a pretty easy target, and we had to try to go on the offensive. which did not work out for us. I kind of thought it would be an easy win since I had pranking on my team, but goes to show that if you don't get grief, you're actually gonna have to deal with some pretty tough players. Game 18, the points have just reset for Season 7, so now I'm at 0 points. And bully me about it all you want. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, Game 18, I landed at the IO outpost slightly to the north of Misty Meadows. Why? Mind your own business. Kinda weird that out of all the locations on the map, this one was contested. I killed the guy. Making my way to get strategic position for the next zone, and this guy decided to shoot at me. People like this are a burden on society and shall be eliminated immediately. I managed to get away from that guy and replenish my materials, but of course I was sniped at. You know, if I had commentary on for this video, I would literally have to mute the recording because of my reaction to getting sniped at. Let's just say Nick A30 would not approve. Let's just get to the end, shall we? I made it to 4th zone by hiding in my base. That's kind of the plan. Wait until 4th zone, and then take shots at guys through your window. That's honestly the best plan here. But if you're feeling aggressive, then you can go for the attack. But I would not do that because I'm not good. Storm was pretty far away, but luckily for me, someone left a neat little launch pad that allowed me to rotate to the next zone and get prepared for the next phase of the game. I actually did a good job at keeping myself alive, staying discreet and silent while 2 other guys fought above me. But, of course, I had to move later on. I tried to use one of the player's builds to rotate to the next zone, and I actually caught up with him and I managed to take a few shots on him, but he killed me. That was a pretty good fight. I'm not even mad. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep this one short. Game 19 is already over. I don't know who would snipe it. Well, never mind. Carry on, madam. I want to game end myself after making that joke, but I can't. Gotta make this video. For the last game of this video, I decided to land at Coral Castle, which, as of now, is currently being abducted. You know what's funny? I spent a minute recording vocals trying to think of nice things to say about Coral Castle, and I couldn't think of anything. And you know, seeing as it's game 20, I wanted to give you guys and myself a nice send-off for this video. So, what better send-off is there to have than getting griefed in the last game? Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. 20 games of Fortnite Scrims. I want to play 100 games, and I'm kind of going to split this up into 5 games of 20, and then I think I'm going to make a full video of the 100. Now, the good news is, I kind of got all the tips out of the way in this video, so the next 4 videos are just going to be the funny. So, like if you want the funny, but I'm probably going to... Why do I keep calling it the funny? Anyway, like if you want to see the next 4 parts, next 5 parts actually, because it's going to be the 100 drops as well. So, yeah, like for that, although I'm probably going to be making those anyway. But still like the video because it helps a lot with the engagement, and maybe there are more people out there that would like the video. So, see you guys later. Bye. Also subscribe to the Shorts channel.